P30 Pro. I was lucky enough to get an early hands-on, and I've got to say the camera on this thing, well, just wait and see. So for this video, I'm focusing on the P30 Pro, the flagship, and taking it out of the box for the first time, well, it's a stunning looking phone, and comes in a range of 5 colors. So in the box, you get the phone, obviously, a SIM card ejector tool, a clear silicone case, which is a nice touch, and then we have Huawei's 40-watt supercharger, 0 to 70% in 30 minutes they promise, plus a USB-C cable and a pair of USB-C earphones. But let's get back to the phone, and this year it's all about design, camera, and AI smarts. There's no sign of a hole punch display here. Huawei's gone for a small central notch, much like the standard Mate 20, which houses the new 32-megapixel f2 selfie camera. What do you reckon though, hole punch or notch? Which do you prefer? So the home button is gone, as is the lower chin of the P20 Pro, and now we get an in-screen optical fingerprint reader. I set up a thumbprint, and from my initial tests, it did seem really fast. So all in, we're getting a bigger screen and smaller bezels. And side by side, we're looking at a 6.1-inch screen on the P30 and a 6.47-inch on the Pro. They're both OLED and share the same Full HD Plus resolution, although the Pro does have curved edges on the screen, giving a slightly more premium look and feel. Turn it around, and the first thing you notice are the new gradient colors. There's 5 in total, and it includes a glossy black, amber sunrise, breathing crystal, pearl white, but I think my personal favorite is Aurora, which gives green and blue hues, and if you move it around the light, you can see why they call it Aurora. On the bottom, we have a speaker grill, USB-C port, but unfortunately no headphone jack, although actually the standard P30 does have one. Huawei say this is because it just takes up too much space, and instead the Pro offers a Cat21 modem versus Cat16 on the P30, which is a bit smaller. If you've used the P20 or the Mate 20, you'll feel right at home here. The P30 Pro runs EMUI 9.1 on top of Android 9 Pie, and while I know it's not everyone's favorite UI, it does feel a bit nippier than before, as Huawei have sped up the tap to response and the app start times. It does feel fast, and it's powered by the latest Kirin 980 processor, along with 6 gigs of RAM on the P30 and 8 gigs on the P30 Pro, along with up to 512 gigs of storage and support for Huawei's nifty new NM cards, which are a bit like microSD but fit in one of the dual SIM card slots. Battery life has also been boosted from the P20 Pro with a new 4200 mAh cell, that's up from 4000 last year, and along with fast 40-watt supercharging, fast wireless charging, and the same reverse wireless charging introduced on the Mate 20 Pro, well, it ticks all the boxes, and this thing should easily last you a day and a half. Okay, let's get to the best bit, the new Leica co-engineered quad camera setup. On the back of the P30 Pro, there are 4 different lenses. A 40-megapixel f1.6 wide lens, a 20-megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide, an 8-megapixel telephoto 5x optical zoom lens, and a time-of-flight 3D lens for real-time depth sensing and AR. Now I should mention that all photos I took are using a pre-release model of the P30 Pro, but first impressions, well, this thing is incredible. So here's a shot from the main lens. Looks pretty good, and you can just about make out the entrance to the New York Public Library. Now if we switch to the telephoto lens, you get a 5x optical zoom, which has OIS to keep it from being a blurry mess. And you can go even further with a 10x hybrid zoom, which uses all of the sensors plus AI to give you an almost lossless zoom. It's insane. Here's another example. First up we have the ultra-wide lens, and then the main lens, then a 5x optical zoom, and finally a 10x hybrid zoom. I will of course test the camera properly and compare it with the competition in my full review, but photo quality on this thing is seriously impressive. From my little GH5 setup to Marquez's massive red camera, the detail, the color, how it handles the dynamic range of the bright clouds and the darker buildings, it's so good. And this is largely down to Huawei's new Super Spectrum sensor on the main lens. To get technical for a second, instead of a traditional RGB sensor that most cameras use, Huawei's replaced the G, the green, with a yellow, so it's RYB, which they say should let in 40% more light. They also say the P30 Pro will offer the highest ISO ever on a phone of 409,600, that's 4 times higher than the P20 Pro, and an even better night mode than before, so this should be the king of low-light shots. Combine all that with Huawei's new AI HDR Plus tech, where the camera in real time creates a light map and adjusts the exposure of the subject and the background to give you the best HDR photos. Portrait shots will also benefit from the new time-of-flight sensor, which measures the time it takes for the light to go from the subject to the lens so it can detect depth in real time. And that way we can get more natural-looking bokeh blur in portraits and much greater accuracy for augmented reality apps. As for video, it still caps out at 4K 30, there's no 4K 60 option, but I am really pleased to see that they've significantly improved the video stabilization, using a combination of OIS and AIS. So this 4K video looks almost like it was shot on a gimbal. The 32 megapixel f2 selfie camera is also pretty impressive, offering lots of detail and natural colors. Versus the P30 Pro, the standard P30 misses out on the time-of-flight sensor, it only has a 3x optical zoom, it doesn't have OIS, but it does offer the same super spectrum lens and AI HDR Plus modes, so photo quality should be similar even if it lacks some of the extra options. I came away from this hands-on event really excited by the camera, and I'm looking forward to having a proper play with the new portrait and night modes. And along with the huge battery, the big screen, and some stunning colors, this thing is going to give the Galaxy S10 Plus and the iPhone XS Max a run for their money. As for pricing, obviously these will be expensive as they are flagship devices. I'm filming this before the launch, so I don't have confirmed pricing just yet, but when I do know for sure, I'll update the description. What do you reckon though? Are you excited for the new P30 Pro? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for loads more videos on the P30 Pro, and I'll catch you next time right here on the Tech Chat.